So it's 7:48. Umaru Sanda Madu filed a report earlier, and he's joining me right now. Sanda, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
Yeah, I think you filed this report like 2 a.m. Man.
Bernard, it's crazy. I mean, we had a long night dancing to Chin Chin Band. And we are moving with them. So it's like we have our own party on the wheels properly happening, or properly so-called. Last
Wow.
night, we spent the night in the Volta Regional Capital Hall. We are two hotels, Sky Plus Hotel, Sky View, Sky Plus Hotel plus Volta Serene Hotel. Now, when we went to do the dinner with Engineer performing, turns out members of parliament had come to Ho for a retreat. So while we were there booking our booking, there comes members of parliament from various constituencies, and they joined in the dance. But Bernard, it's not just the dance they joined in. They also took the microphones and started singing and rapping and all of those things. And I was like, wow.
What an interesting spectacle. But before we get there, talk to me about day one. You set off from Accra. Where did you go before you got to Ho? Just walk me through the first day's highlights.
So firstly, of course, we moved from offices at ChannelOne, offices at number 5 Hampton in the tunnel. And we decided that after eating breakfast, we had to actually live in Accra. Whenever we're talking about slavery, we think of the Elmina Castle, we think of the Cape Coast Castle. However, there's a story of slavery right in Accra, right under our nose, at Jamestown. And we decided that let the Caravanites have that particular story told to them and also visualize it. So we drove towards the lighthouse in Jamestown. And there at the lighthouse near the boxing arena, we saw this dungeon. And then I never knew that we had a dungeon for slaves in the heart of Accra. Now, it's a dungeon that has like 3 different chambers. And from what we've been told, that's British Accra. And what they used to do is to harbor slaves there for about 3 months, awaiting the arrival of the ship that would take them to the Americans. And so we got to experience that, also interact with some of the boxers, because, again, Accra, Jamestown is a hub for growing boxers in Ghana. And so we interacted with the young ones. There's a boy I met. He's about 20 years old now. He said he started boxing at age 3. He has been coming to that place since since he was 3 years old. And he's been coming to practice boxing. And they are inspired by so many of our boxing icons. So that is what really we did. And from there, we headed to the Volta region, went through Eastern region, crossed the Adomi, and then entered Ho. And when we arrived at Ho, at the Parks and Garden offices in Ho, we were received by the regional minister, James Gono, the new regional minister, as well as the representative of Fabia, who came to welcome us, and the NDC vice regional chairman, H.S. Kudoto. At this particular deba, we were exposed to Volta food. And Bernard, every food that you know from the Volta region was on display. The snack, the very popular agbeli kaklo, which is a kaklo made of agbeli, where agbeli here means cassava, was on display. Atifufi, Joe, and all those snacks were there. The liha, which is a drink, and other drinks that come from the Volta region. Then the food, the makla, the awokla, the amatechi, and all the ones you can imagine, the petri. But for me, my favorite of all favorites is yake with ataji, that if you are from the Southern Water, or able, if you are from the Tonguland, with akwakalami.
Wow.
And that's what I had.
So it
was in this function.
This was like a bazaar of foods from the region.
Fantastic.
Prepared.
The Volta Food Bazaar.
Amazing. So this was in the afternoon. How did patrons take it? Especially those who are not from Ghana, who had traveled in. What did they say about the variety of food they saw in the region?
So there's an Indian couple that joined us on this trip, quite elderly. It was their first time in Ghana, and they came purposely for this trip. I went to their stable. I thought that maybe when I got there, I would see them asking for rice or something familiar. Bernard, have you seen an Indian woman Ni ifawonu.
If I want to,
Or as we say in Ever, the cheap plum.
I tell you.
It was like I was wowed. And I asked her, how is the meal going? I actually said, I don't think I should even ask you how it's going. She said, is it not obvious? And she was really having a good time on Banku and Fetri Dechi. So they loved it. And of course, Ghanaians also know about these foods. Maybe they may not get it as often, those who are in Accra and other places. And it was a time to really live the moment of eating Volta,
Wow.
feeling Volta, and living Volta. And the regional minister and the chief in welcoming us said that this is the oxygen city. They have a lot of greenery, and so the air they breathe here is healthier and cleaner. And Bernard, indeed it was. And the mountainous nature of Ho makes being here very, very beautiful, because we are atop the mountain. The view below is beautiful, and if you are below, the view atop the mountain is exquisite.
Wow.
And
So
it's been a wonderful night.
Volta has set the standard. Other regions will have to emulate. We understand you have the ambitious plan of driving from Ho all the way to Bolgatanga in one day. That sounds incredible.
If ambitious is even another statement. So picture the map of Ghana, then superimpose what they call the Transvolta Togoland on that map to the right side, and then imagine us at the bottom right of the map, and we are intending to climb as far as we can to the topmost part of the map, still on the right side. That is what we are intending to do. If you look at it on the map, you can use your finger and just draw, and it's a short distance. But this is hundreds of kilometers that we are talking about, where rubber would be meeting asphalt or gravel or dirt path. Depends on how the Eastern Corridor is going to treat us today. Because again, we are not just doing this ambitious journey of moving from Ho to Bolga. We are actually doing so on the very, very popular Eastern Corridor road. And the last time I used the Eastern Corridor road in 2018, it was at the time that the Eastern Corridor was always part of what they call the Gang of Four?
I think it was Gang of 3 or Gang of 4.
Gang of Four, I think.
Yeah.
And it's because the government had wanted to fix it 1,001 times. So the peppers who have always featured in budgets, anytime I listen to the budget presentations, they will always see the pepper soup. And not so pepper soup, but that's the name of the area.
Well, when you did that trip, I remember famously that you sat in the normal trotro, and the trotro at some point didn't even have a proper brake. So when they stopped, they used a stone to choke the car.
A choke? There's a choke in the car. Whenever the bus stops, they need to get down quickly and go and choke it before you get down.
Based on the route you will use, do you think you can make it? Because you know the route pretty well. So you are going to use Bimbila, if I'm not mistaken, before you get to Yendi.
Yeah.
What do you know of the nature of the road, and what are some of the towns you hope patrons will see? Because not many people use this route. In fact, I'm told the Eastern Corridor is a shorter route to the Northern region than the Ashanti regional route. So talk to me about that.
That's correct, and that's also part of your region. I think your mother's side. So when I'm getting this wrong, please correct me. Now, because we have moved from home, we would go to Asikuma Junction and turn right. That's one route. There's another route where we would turn at Peki Junction, and then we will climb northward and join the Eastern Corridor. When we join that Eastern Corridor, there will be a number of major towns. Some we may pass through, some may be a bypass, but of course, Peki is on that road. Now, the one we are really gunning for is Dambai, which is the capital of the Volta region. That is,
the OT region, the OT region.
The OT region, yes. If we're to go by the ferry, which is a shorter route, we'll get to Dambai and take the ferry and then land beyond the river and then move from there into Bimbila, Bulensi, Bimbila, and then Yendi. However, if we do not do that, which we may not do because of the unpredictable nature of the ferry. Just 2 weeks ago, I was on Eyewitness News telling a story of how the ferry had broken down and how vehicles were stuck in traffic and how people who had planned to use it were stuck. So we may not want to take that risk, even though it sounds exciting to be on the lake, which is given at a shorter period. We may not do that. So the alternative is you go through Nkwanta, Otidamanku. There's a bridge called Otidamanku Bridge. You cross the Oti River at that particular. I remember vividly for the yams that I saw the last time I used that place. So Pasa Otidamanku, we cross and then head towards Bimbila. So from Bimbila, we'll enter Yendi. And then as if the journey is not already ambitious enough, we have also this plan to have the afternoon with the Yana. So we are going to stop in the traditional capital of Dagbon, where Dagbon here refers to the kingdom of the Dagombes. So the king of the Dagombes, who is in Yendi and not Tamale, we intend to stop by and see him. He's a very symbolic person when it comes to our peace in this country, because we do know if you remember the famous Abu Dhani.
Yeah. I was actually in Yendi in 2019, where he hosted Caravan nights. I remember vividly a performance his people put up for us. He gave us cola. It was a very, very good meeting. But at the time, he was relatively new in the role. Now he's been in the role for a few more years, and I suspect you guys will have a bigger debate than what we had. So good luck to you in terms of time management. I just wanted to make a point for education wise. So the Eastern Corridor is called the N2, and so basically we have N1 to N12. Okay, so Lome to Elubo is N1. So the George Walker Bush Highway is part of the N1. The N2 is Tema all the way through to Boku. No, I'm talking the full road.
Okay.
Right now, so you see, the N1 is from Elubo to Lome, or the other way around. N2, which you call the Eastern Corridor, begins in Tema, goes through all the places you mentioned, Bimbila, Yendi, Gusheu, and then it goes through Nankpanduri to Boku. That's actually N2. So you guys will veer off the N2 at Yendi and do the Tamale route. So that's just by way of information.
So just also to add that, so the ideal thing would have been to continue through Nakpanduri, descend on the Nakpanduri escarpment, go through Garu, enter Boko, turn left, go through Zebila, and enter Bolga.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, because of the volatile nature of that area, and again the bad state of the roads there, it's better to go and join the Tamale Wali road and go through Bolga.
For you who likes traveling, even for you, this will be interesting, because I know you move around a lot when you have spare time. This will be the first time the caravan would use the OT region and enter the northern region through the N2. So it's going to be an interesting journey for patrons. I hope you get the chance to speak to them on the bus about some of the things you know, because a lot of them would never have been on that route before, and you are pretty experienced in that area. Hopefully you can also call some of the MPs to prepare soup for you, because you've interviewed a lot of the MPs on that corridor. The former defense minister is MP for Bimbila. We also know some of the MPs, like the Zabzugu MP, who's on the appointments committee, and the others. So I don't know what you can pull for the caravanites based on your experience on that route.
Because time is not helpful, I'm not sure we'll be able to do it. Even Yendi, I doubt how much time we may be able to make. Yesterday, the regional minister said something. He said we should have a whole week dedicated to Volta Region alone. And I agree, because Volta Region is a long region. It's not wide, but it's long. From Aflao, and now that we've carved out Otiba, you can still put it together. From Aflao all the way to Otidamanku, it's a very long region. Now, there are lots of exciting things to see here. The mountains, the monkeys, and all sorts of things. However, if we say we're going to do all that, it's going to be difficult. Even Oti region itself, there are very important places I would love to see. But for now, we are going to do a lot of the excitement on the bus and also the views from the window. And I'm sure we'll be happy to see the other side of the Volta River that we regularly do not see as we enter the north.
I noticed that you are combining a lot of things. So for the Accra leg, you did some places of historical significance, like the lighthouse and the dungeon. And then for the whole leg, you did sort of leisure and tourism dimension. So I noticed that there's a mix of that. Places which are for cultural tourism and places which are just for like enjoyment kind of thing. If you look at the overall trip, how nicely balanced is that in terms of mixing fun with also serious historical places of significance?
So missing fan, I'm co-bus captain on bus 3 with Nana Tufo Boatin. And moments ago, before you called me, there was a full-blown praise and worship happening, except that there was no collection. But there was a full-blown praise and worship happening on the bus. And that is like the starting point. Then in the next hour or so, the tune may change briefly from either a very old hip life song or some highlight song, and they will graduate slowly into a new contemporary hip life song, and then maybe hip hop. This morning I was dancing to Lucky Dube, and he's my favorite reggae artist.
I know you're a Rasta man. As for you, I know. Yeah.
I mean, but you don't have to be Rasta,
I know.
So yeah, so that is happening. Again, every vehicle or every bus has a big speaker where there's all kind of music emanating from there. There are also games which some of the bus members are taking part in. I've seen Ludo somewhere here, which is about the only game I can take part in apart from swimming, because football I am horrible. So I may be able to play some Ludo. And then I'm also hoping someone has Spa in their pocket, playing cards. And then we are looking forward to all those. So there are lots of things happening. And the bus, maybe you can divide the bus into 3. There's the front part, there's the middle part, and then there's the back part.
Uh-huh.
And there's a different kind of entertainment happening at each side of the bus. And Bernard, when we get to the destinations and we have to, for instance, last night, the dancing was exciting. But before that, there was already dancing. Very soon, I'm looking forward to some karaoke happening on this bus and all of those. I would attempt to sing, which I know is going to actually bring the whole trip to a halt if I do. But I really am praying that my voice may not fail me better.
Thank you, Sanda. We look forward to speaking again. Enjoy the best. When you get to Tamale, I need shea butter. So please get one gagba of shea butter for me. Otherwise, I'll take it from your salary.
We're actually going to Bolga, so there's going to be a Bolga weekday fair for us tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I also need some smokes for my kids. So as for you, your list is long. I'll send you a full list.
Please do. And sorry, you're missing a lot.
No, don't worry. Next year I'll go. Thank you, Sanda. Umaru Sanda is amazing.